Hello, and welcome to this ISACA podcast. My name is Jocelyn Alcantar. I'm an event coordinator with ISACA. Here is the second part of my conversation with Arnulfo. So you are an accredited trainer as well. What are your certifications and what are you instructing on?
Yeah, I think that is very important, this initiative that a few years ago ISACA took to have accredited trainers for each certification that ISACA gives to us as professionals. I am accredited instructor for CISA, for CSEM, for Cybersecurity Fundamentals and Cybersecurity Audit certificates.
So something I understand is you have a knack for explaining complex things in very easy ways that even some people who are not experts can understand. What is something that you can give us an example of?
Yeah, I like to think that too, but you know, in 2020, I won the John Kuyers Award, and the legend that it was scripted in that award sets for explaining complex terms in a simple way. So that I always read that because I have that award in my desk. I always read that award when I am preparing some conference. You know, when I had a lot of things in my mind and I'm trying to explain it in one slide. That is a very tough thing to do. So you know, but Albert Einstein's always also said something related to that. He says that if you can explain it simply, you haven't understand it well. You know, so I am using that principles on or under that principles. I have always developed my work and especially my talks. If you ever attend to a talk or a workshop of mine, which I invite to do, please. I invite everyone to do. Please attend to my conferences and workshops. So you will notice in them that many times I start to talk about something that seems to have absolutely nothing to do with the subject that I am explaining in that conference. But suddenly I return to the main subject with a deep reflection about it. You know, I define that ability or that technique like the one of the Mr. Miyagi used in the Karate Kid movie. Remember that the Mr. Miyagi taught his student Daniel LaRusso karate, and
Yes.
And when he the first lessons that he teaches to Daniel LaRusso was to wax a lot of merit cards, to wax a lot of cards. You know, Daniel LaRusso was waxing a lot of cards, and Daniel didn't know why he was doing that. And suddenly, Mr. Miyagi asked him to teach him how he was waxing cars. And it turns out that this movement that he was doing while he was waxing cars was to block punches in karate, right? So that is the technique that I use in my conferences and my workshops, and I think that is very effective because I heard a lot. I heard a lot of reviews and colleagues that told me I never understood that concept before because no one hasn't explained it like you explained it to me. So you ask about an example about the things that I do when I present in the conferences, and I can give you a joke. CISOs and IT staff are like dolphins because they are proven to be intelligent, but so far no one has been able to communicate to them. Yeah. So the reflection behind that is that CISOs and IT guys, let's not be dolphins, man. You know, let's get some skills necessary to communicate and to make ourselves understood. You know, that is one of the main gaps that the cybersecurity experts has right now, the ability to explain complex things in a simple way to the business guys. You know, in fact, explaining things complex in an easy way. I can tell you that I have the world record to explain blockchain technology in 1.5 minutes. You know, in 1.5 minutes, I can explain you what is blockchain. And if you want to see that explanation, you can find it in YouTube. There is a conference that is called the AudiTHOR in the mysterious IT universe, and you will see there my explanation of 1.5 minutes, and you will learn English. You will learn English too. No, English no, but you will learn blockchain even if you are not a specialist in IT. So I think that is one of the main things that I like to do in my conferences. And I am very glad to be recognized with that award in that time, and I will keep working with that.
That's great. I'm gonna have to go check out that video so that I can, learn a little bit more about blockchain. That's
Yeah.
great. So tell us a little bit more about your award that you received. Congratulations, by the way, for this Hall of Fame award. So tell us a little bit more about your experience and how did it feel to be recognized by your peers?
Yeah. I had the honor to have received a couple of awards of ISACA awards. I will talk about that awesome program in a few minutes. So when I won the Young Kuyers Award, that award was very special to me because it was the moment when I really convinced myself that I was good giving lectures. I will tell you a little bit of my style of giving lectures. My style of giving conferences was marked by the first time that I participated in an international conference. It was a Latin conference a few years ago. And they assigned me, the guys that were working in the logistics of that conference, they assigned me to a space to give my lecture exactly after lunch. That space is one that fewer speakers will select because the audience is either not at the time of the conference, or if they are there, they are half asleep, right? Half asleep. So
after eating,
what
right?
happened? Yeah, after lunch. So what happened? When I knew that, I prepared myself with two things. I was thinking I have to prepare some high impact slides, very illustrative slides that has a lot of good content and design. And I have to work in a very good speech with several punchlines, especially at the beginning. At the beginning and at some points of my talk, I prepare some very important facts or punchlines that wake them up and keep them attentive. So far, that is what dictates the technique that I use to build all my lectures materials. So you can read my article that is posted in ISACA blog and in the ISACA blog sections, that is called From Rockstar to Speakstar, and you can see some of my adventures there as a conferences. There is an anecdote that I explained there, that there was a time when I gave a talk, and there was a huge stage there. And when I finished that talk of my participation, I went downstairs, and there was a girl. Let's call that girl Maria. There was a Mary. There was a girl that let's call her Mary, and she was the host, and she told me, "Arnulfo, you really rocked that place." And I was like, "For real? All right." Yeah. So I feel so comfortable, and that I sat in the front of the row, and I stayed there to enjoy the next speaker. Right after me, the next speaker was terrible. He sounded nervous. He were unprepared. His slide was very bad, with a very little text, and you can see anything there, can't see anything there. It was bad. It was really bad. It was evident that he was bad. And since I was there in the front row, at the end of his participation, he goes down from the same stairs where I was going down in the previous talk, and Mario receives him and says to him, "Juan, you were really great. You were really great. You rocked the place." And I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah, no. It's hard to receive an honest and impartial opinion or in the evaluation as our work as a conferencist or as a speaker. There is a lot of people, and maybe you you have done it. When you see someone that explains something in the public and gives a conference, and when he finished his participation, it's very likely that you are going to say, hey, man, you did great there. It's always something that we do, you know. So when I received this prize, it was with this award. For me, it was really a confirmation for me that I was really good giving lectures. So that was a strong, that award has a strong meaning to me. And when talking about the Hall of Fame induction, you know, I remember that is one of the highest honors that ISACA gives to his members, and I'm really honored about it and glad about it. You know, humbled. But when I received, or when I knew about that I was selected for that prize, I remember that I posted something in my LinkedIn, and in the title it said something like, I don't deserve this honor, but I guess I didn't deserve the pancreatitis I got in the beginning of the year. Yeah, either. Right? I don't read. I don't deserve any of the two. But winning this prize made me feel very honored and grateful. And also, when I received the prize, it was, I had in that moment, for one moment I had something of weird feeling, you know, something like the athletes when they receive or when they are inducted to a Hall of Fame of their discipline, you know, football or something. And it is like time for them, is something like his time for retire, or everything is over in his career. And I was like, man, it's over my career, or what is happening here? Then I realized that it was exactly the opposite for me. Now, as an Hall of Fame inductee, my responsibility was greater. You know, I was carrying the ISACA banner, and as a Hall of Fame member, and I had to honor. In the rest of my career, I must honor it and continue to deserve to be there. You know, and keep working, inspiring others to have the same passion that I and a lot of our colleagues have, and to be participating and helping and adding to our association. So yeah, I'm pretty honored to have these two recognitions, and I have to say that the ISACA Awards program is a very important program, and we as a professional needs to take the time to recognize our peers, because that will help you, that will helps all to keep improving in our career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say that you definitely deserved both of those awards that you received. I've been there. I've seen you talk, and
I hope that you didn't deserve the pancreatitis, right?
Oh yeah, definitely not. So how do you think ISACA can help the next generation of industry leaders, and how would you recommend for them to get more involved?
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, joining an association like ISACA helps you to have the right contacts and the right access to the information in order to strong and advance your career as a professional or as a new professional. You know, joining ISACA is like finding one of those little arrows on the track or in the road that you find in the Mario Kart video game. You know these little arrows that when you pass over it, they give you like a speed up, or they give you a boost, and you got much faster when you step over it. So, well, that is exactly what, or precisely what ISACA do to your career. Being a new leader or a person that has a professional career already, it gives you a super boost to your professional career and helps you to reach new limits or levels in your career. How to get involved? You know, I mentioned earlier that one of the things that it will help you a lot is to look for your ISACA chapter. ISACA had representation in more than 222 cities in the world. It's very likely that exists a chapter very near to you. Contact them and join to them as a volunteer in any activity, wherever it is. Literally, I was saying that I started like moving and loading banners and things related to the events in the ISACA Monterrey chapter, and since that I started to have different roles and advancing my career and knowing a lot of excellent professionals that I still consider my friends, and I still have in contact with them. And you should consider too, if you are a new professional, you should consider too, and if you can join to have this kind of special student membership, the student membership of ISACA, the membership of students of ISACA. It has a very little price, and you have access to the same kind of contents that the professional membership has, and there is a lot of materials there that you can use to advance your career. And you can also approach to a ISACA mentor. You can find these guys or these professionals in directly in the ISACA international website, or in their chapters. And there are many mentors. There are many of us that we are willing to help you to advance to career and to show you what is ISACA and how ISACA can help you to boost your career.
That's wonderful. Can you explain a little bit more about this mentorship program?
Yeah. The mentorship program is something that exists since a lot of time in ISACA, but right now ISACA is giving to this program a lot of spotlight, or is giving this program a lot of relevance right now, and it is related to help to the new professionals or professionals that want to join to ISACA. And there is a pool of persons, of professionals of ISACA that has a lot of experience or career in ISACA, and these guys are registered as a mentors, and they are waiting for some new professional or some person that wants to do or make a career in ISACA. They are waiting to contact them, and these guys, the mentors, are going to help all these persons to advance their career, to explain to them what is ISACA, to explain to them how to obtain a certification, how to obtain some kind of support, of benefits that ISACA can give to them. And basically that is what it is. The mentorship program is one of the most important programs of ISACA. And as I was said previously, there is a lot of guys like me that we are going to be very glad to help any person that wants to make a career in ISACA.
That sounds like a wonderful program. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Industry leaders must stay on top of the current trends in news, information, and all of that. How do you stay on top of what's coming next? And how do you self-educate?
My strategy to keep up to date, or to be aware of what is coming, is to keep presenting in talks and conferences on various topics. Knowing that I must share about some topic, mostly a recent topic, requires to prepare myself to the maximum in order to talk to that topic. It obligates me to find the most recent information, and even to certify myself in that area. In addition to this process, everything is like a virtuous circle, because the fact that I prepare myself to give a conference maybe related to how to audit the cloud, that will help me a lot to make my work better when I am working, really auditing the cloud, in the field. So that is the key. The key is that your work is related to your professional activities, or to your extra professional activities, and that your extra professional activities are related to your work. That is the key of maintaining yourself up to date. So that is why I always invite to my colleagues to give lectures, to participate in workshops, and that is the most effective way to keep up to date to what is coming.
Thank you so much for sharing. There's a rumor going around that you're a superhero. Are you willing to share your superhero identity?
Yeah. I have another identity. Yeah, it's like my alter ego, and is this guy is the one that I use it to go on the stage and offer my conferences. He's the one that posts all these interesting things in the social medias, in my social media. He's the one that pushes me to stay awake in the night, working in different kind of presentations and preparing myself to obtain some certification. And it's the one that forces me, quote unquote, to say yes to every conference where I am invited to participate. So yeah, this guy is Arnulfo Friends, the auditor. This is the guy. Is Arnulfo Friends. Sometimes the auditor needs Arnulfo, and sometimes Arnulfo needs the auditor. But let me tell you something. We are always auditors, Jocelyn. Why? Because the auditor is a traditional auditor, but on steroids, with reinforced soft and hard skills uh, for prepare him to the new world, to take these IT auditors beyond the IT general controls, to audit any emerging technology, to have the abilities to audit any emerging technologies, to audit anything. In fact, that last phrase that I said is one of the mottos of my workshop that is called Extreme Audit. I have a workshop that is called Extreme Audit. And if I go around the world trying to auditorizing all the people, is only to inspire them or to inspire more auditors to become auditors, to become from the traditional auditors to auditor, if those auditors, because that is the kind of auditors that we need in the future, and the future is today, the auditor belongs to everyone, and at the same time the auditors should be everyone.
That's great. And I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting you with this AudiTHOR, and I hope that you have the pleasure of meeting Arnulfo like that as well.
The pleasure is mine.
So I understand being a rock star is also on your list of accomplishments. Is this true that you're in a rock or metal band?
I like to think that I am. For my mom, I am a rock star.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also true that I can solve the Rubik cube or the Rubik square in a few seconds. that is true. The rock star part is a truth for my mom and for my mind. In my head, I am a rock star. So yeah. But I have played in different or in several bands since I was a teenager. It's like a therapeutic thing for me. I played I played the acoustic and the electric guitar, and you can follow me in my Instagram. There I upload there some of my guitar riffs, me playing the guitar, and plus I love some of Audit and Cybersecurity riffs. My Instagram page is which is the English word for arroba the audio at all right, it's at el auditor, with th at el auditor. And if you are in Monterrey, in my Monterrey city, the city where I live, or if you are in any city where I am going to present at conferences, be ready, because at any time during that conferences or at my conference or at the close of that congress or that summit, maybe I could grab a guitar and play some songs there. Yeah, why not?
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to definitely have to check you out on social media.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your excellent speaking skills. You've lectured in conferences as well as keynoted in conferences. Can you tell us a little bit about where you've spoken?
Yes. I have given many conferences. Recently, I made an estimate, and I think that I have given more than 300 conferences.
300?
Yeah, something like that. The truth is, I don't exactly know how many conferences I had lectured, but there is a number around the 300, and that number sounds really cool. So
yeah,
I have to
sure does.
Yeah, like 300. And yeah, I was the master of ceremonies of the host of the MC of the ISACA Latin American Conference in 2022. That was like 4 months ago. I think that we rocked there together,
Yes, we absolutely did.
And yeah, I hope I can help to host some other ISACA conferences in Latin America or in the world. Why not? We can bring some Latin flavor wherever they invite me. And my favorite conferences that you asked me about my favorite conferences, I will say that in two groups, the ISACA conferences and conferences of the AudiTHOR. So my favorite conference and ISACA, there is a lot of them, but I should mention one, and the GLS conference, the Global Leadership Summit of 2016 in Lisbon. Wow, that was an epic and cool thing, right? It was a very awesome conference with 500 leaders around the world. It was very cool. And I love many of my conferences because they are mine, but especially their names. I work hard in construct the names of my conferences. I think that the name of for me, I think that the name of one conference is like the poster of one movie, the trailer of that movie. If that poster catches you, you are going to want to see that movie, right? So it's the same for me. It's the same the conference, the names of the conference. If you see a name of the conference that is very cool or is great, is very likely that you want to go to see whatever that guy or the speaker is going to tell you. So let me give you some examples of one of my conferences. I have a conference that has a name that is Confessions of a Cyber Humorist. And yeah, that is a cool one. And in that conference, I tell a joke, and then I link that joke with a deep cybersecurity reflection or idea. It's very cool because you are talking about a lot of IT jokes, and then suddenly we came to an important reflection or a deep reflection related to cybersecurity. There is another example, Bank to the Future, talking about the security, the security of banks. But like Back to the Future, but Back to the Futures. Another one, not for kids, let's say that there is I work in a name that is called 50 Shadows of IT. That was cool. Yeah, that was a cool one. And I will give some presentations in the future, in the next months. You can follow me on LinkedIn, only with my name, Arnulfo Espinosa Dominguez. And then I post there something that I call the Audit Tour of the AudiTHOR. We are in the 2022 edition, and you can see there all the dates and the cities where I am going to be presented. My next conferences is going to be in Lima, then in Montevideo, and then in Quito, in Ecuador, and more. There are more coming. So you can follow me there, and you can see where the AudiTHOR is going to be. And the cool thing is that many of that conferences are like online, and they're free. You can follow me there. You can register and be with me and share together in that sessions.
That's great. So if you guys are interested in hearing Arnulfo speak, those are where you can find his upcoming conferences and where he will be speaking. If in 150 years science fails to save us all, and all that is left is a book about your life, what would the title be?
that is like ask me anything kind of question, right? So this is a very good question. Yeah, it will be something like after the zombie apocalypse or something like that. In fact, I don't know if in that time there is going to be books, right? Maybe the knowledge is going to be in another kind of format. I don't know what is going to happen there. But I think that book should be called something like Why You Should Have Listened to ISACA About Regulating the Development of Artificial Intelligence. Yeah, or maybe that book should be had a name something like How to Be Your Artificial Intelligent Robot Favorite Slave.
That's a good one.
No. The truth is that I am pro artificial intelligence. Yeah, I am pretty sure that it's going to help you to solve a lot of our problems that we have as an humanity, and it will help you. It will help us in a lot of ways. So anyway, about the name of the book of my life in that time, I think that maybe that book should have a name like thank you for deleting my internet browser and social media history. No. For finish, maybe I think that it should be something like I am immortal. Meet me still today in the metaverse.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Arnulfo, you and I could talk all day, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. We'd like to thank you again for taking the time to be here with us today. If you would like to learn more about Arnulfo, please click the link in the description below.